Dateline, Vatican City. The Holy Father is in receipt of a petition signed by the residents of Berkshire County, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, United States of America, requesting the canonization of Housatonic resident Jack Cowles. Since the practice of canonizing saints was instituted in 993, this honor has never been bestowed upon anyone during his or her lifetime. Nevertheless, the Holy Father is mindful of the extraordinary number of miracles which have been attributed to the intercession of Jack Cowles, and consequently, following usual church procedure, he has convoked a special papal commission to investigate the authenticity of these reports and to make a recommendation to the Vatican regarding the possible pre-humanist canonization of Jack Cowles. If approved, the papal decree will be issued in 1993 to commemorate the millennial anniversary of the canonization of St. Ulrich of Augsburg by Pope John V in 993. I'm David Cowles, Jack's brother. This film is the story of my journey to discover what the hell is going on here.
Well, Mother, this letter from the Vatican announcing our son's canonization is really quite an honor. But I must say I'm not really very surprised. Are you?
No, not at all. You know, really, every time I took him shopping with me in the grocery cart, he would sit and he would never take anything off the shelves. He would always ask me first, do we need this, Mother? Before he put anything in the basket. And when we went to the checkout counter, there was never anything in the basket that I hadn't already picked out. So I am not at all surprised, really.
It was such a relief to have a son who you could leave things around. You know, I remember leaving a fully loaded camera with all of the work that we'd done the previous day or two getting ready for this convention, and he never touched it. That was really remarkable. He was really an outstanding young man.
That's right. And you know, I don't know if you remember, but every evening he went to bed so happily, all by himself, because he enjoyed the solitude of the evening to meditate while before he went to sleep.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember each Christmas it was such a relief. We could buy anything and just put it down cellar without any locked doors or without having to hide the things, and we knew absolutely that nobody would possibly look in to see what was coming on Christmas morning. So it made our getting ready for Christmas an awful lot easier to have such a fine young son.
Right. And when he was a teenager, if you remember, we began to realize he was really very spiritual because he started chanting a mantra. Peas and puffs, peas and puffs, peas and puffs, peas and puffs. So, isn't it wonderful to have all these memories of our son from the day of his birth till now his 40th birthday?
40 years. Well, it certainly is an occasion. It's nice the letter came when it did.
Yes.
It's not hard for me to accept the canonization of Godfather. When I was an infant, I would scream and cry for him, and when he picked me up, I would immediately be still and quiet as if I recognized his divine presence. Birthdays have always been special in our family. He always used to come, and he still does, and attend my birthday celebrations. he always bought such wonderful gifts. And every morning on my birthday when I woke up and I came down to breakfast, I always knew that a special gift would be waiting from him. It's so fitting that this announcement should come now, near his birthday.
You got some carrot cake?
No, it's a cornbread. You know, the kind that my mother has.
Beautiful.
I got the recipe.
Beautiful. Honey, I've got some news.
Huh? What?
News, honey, I've got news.
Oh, is it good or bad?
Well, I think it's wonderful.
What is it?
The Vatican. You know, the Vatican wants to confer sainthood on someone that we know.
Who is it? Tell me.
Well, it's someone richly deserving. Rich and deserving and long overdue, I'd say.
Is it Carol Cowles?
No, it's not, but that's a very good guess.
It's not Brian Fritz.
Fritz? No, it's not Fritz. Jeez. Now, honey, I want you to prepare yourself. I'm going to say a name.
Mhm.
You've got to promise not to get upset.
What are you talking about? Who is it?
Jack Cowles.
What?
Yes. Listen now.
Oh
take
my
it
God,
easy.
I don't believe this.
Honey, calm down now. I want you to listen to me. I don't think it's any accident that Jack's initials are JC. Now, there's a couple of Vatican guys coming over very shortly to verify Jack's miracles.
Miracles? What miracles?
Well, you know, how he saved you and everything.
Saved me? What are you talking about? From what?
God, honey, a life of sin.
Let me get this straight. I'm doing a striptease at the Naked Eye, and this guy, Jack Cowles, comes in drunk, rolls a beer ball across the runway, and I break my flogging leg. That's your miracle?
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. He got you out of that life. And look at you now, one of Boston's finest meter maids. God, honey, you have broken records in total tickets written for 3 straight months.
Don't remind me.
Now you can hold your head high in your community.
Look, I always held my head high. I don't believe this. You're telling me they want to make Jack Cowles a saint? Don't they know this guy voted for Weld?
Oh, I know, but he's not going to be a saint of the poor people.
Obviously.
Mother Teresa's got that market covered. Don't you think the upper classes deserve a saint? Jack's going to be the first yuppie saint.
Yuppie saint. Yuppie saint. Well, I suppose yuppies deserve anything they get. Hey, when are these Vatican talent scouts coming over anyway? Should I go make some angel cake?
Well, no, maybe some brie and goose liver pâté would be more appropriate.
Okay.
I want to express my gratitude for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the petition for canonization for Jack of Housatonic. I'm not going to speak about miracles. What do I know about miracles? Many others will attest to the miracles wrought by Jack and their connection with him. I can only tell you what has happened to one life, and that's mine. Growing up, I strayed from my own spiritual Christian tradition, and I looked for things that made sense in the East, things that still make sense to many in Buddhism, in Hinduism. But knowing Jack and having a power working underneath, there were no specific experiences that I can tell you about, but I know that it's brought a change to me. And I know that the tradition in which I grew up has a power for me again that it could never have without my connection with Jack. For years, this room was filled with devotees standing on their head, burning incense, chanting Sanskrit. But now it's Jackie's chapel. My wife is at vigil. Perhaps we should talk outside. You see, I met Jackie because I have this very eccentric friend, David, and Jack is his brother. And if you grow up in a family where David is your older brother, you have a certain number of options. Jack decided to be the saint. Everyone in his family will verify this. And if you associate with the idea of being a saint and act like the saint, if when you go out having wine with David and his friend and your friend, and David sits there and pontificates about how white wine cannot even be mentioned, let alone a particular white wine be suggested to be consumed, and you sit there and listen and observe and basically have a prayerful presence, that has its effect. And that has had its effect on Jack, and it is now having its effect on everyone he knows, including me. I have to conclude. You'll see that this affects my daily rhythms. My wife's vigil has concluded, and that bell is to call me to the afternoon service. But thank you very much again for this opportunity to speak in behalf, for the petition for canonization of Jack of Lusitania.
Well, I don't know. I've looked into his past. I've talked to people who knew him. I've investigated the alleged miracles. He's still a rutabaga to me. Of course, I didn't stop there. I wrote to people all over the world. Wise men and women, sages, clerics. I got back an enormous volume of responses, and fascinating. I mean, here's one from a parish priest in the city of Dubrovnik. And he writes to tell me that his congregation knows Jack and knows him as the patron saint of Croatian nationalism. But then he scribbles this footnote at the bottom. He says that on the island of Korčula, which is just off the coast of Dubrovnik, parishioners there know him as the patron saint of rum punch. Does that make any sense? Here's one from a bishop in North Africa who writes that the Bedouin tribes in the Gafsa region worship Jack as he who walks the desert in his underwear. It's interesting. The Ayatollah of the city of Tehran writes that people there know Jack as the man who instituted the practice of drinking scotch on the Prophet's birthday. Costa Rica, Guatemala. There's one from Italy. Whoops, written in Italian. And my Italian is not all that good, so I can't make out too well. Here's something about Jack, the one who drinks flaming liquids. And here's something about him visiting a brothel. I'll have to get someone to translate this for me. This one could be interesting. It's from Kabul. Very nice letter. Looks like it might have been written by a teenager. And he encloses a copy of a resolution passed by the City Council of the Government of Kabul, Afghanistan, officially thanking Jack for saving their country from Ralph Pred. Well, I don't know. I remember, Jackie, when the two of us were just kids growing up.
God, it's only a dream.